Get sports and weather a little bit later here on the show. We begin with this, though. It is the case against Facebook rapist and murderer Thabo Bester. It's been postponed to the 8th of August to allow for further investigations. During the brief virtual appearance, Slindelo Masikane took over from Bester's previous attorney. Bester, Nandipa Magudamana and several other suspects will remain behind bars.
The state is of the view that at least a period of a month will suffice to allow the completion of this investigation. On that basis, we are agreed with the legal team, even of other accused, on the date of the 8th of August 2023. I have further been approached by Mr. Matia, the legal team for Mr. Bester now, in terms of his physical appearance on the next appearance, and on that the state has no objection. The necessary arrangements will be done as it pleases the court. He remains in custody.
Oh, the latest accused, Zanda Moyo, will be remaining behind bars after abandoning his bail application. At the same time, the state expects to make at least 3 more arrests.
Ladies and gentlemen, your case is hereby adjourned until the 8th day of August 2023. Same court, court number 20A, for further investigations. Accused number 1, accused number 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9. Or rather, let me rephrase. Accused number 1, number 3, number 4, number 6, number 7, and number 9. All of you will remain in custody until then. Accused number 1, accused number 3, accused number 6, and accused number 7. Bail was denied. Accused number 4, you have provisionally abandoned your right to bail application. And accused number 9.
Well, the state has a lot of work to do ahead of its high-profile case against Thabo Bester before it can proceed. And that's according to legal expert Alton Hart. He says more arrests are imminent, though, ahead of the trial finally getting underway.
No, obviously, if they say further investigation, it means that there's still a lot of things outstanding. And what I see from this, and I've said it on an earlier occasion, I believe that there is still a lot more accused persons that needs to be added to that roster of accused as it stands now, the 9 accused before court. And we will have, like, I think maybe another 4 or 5 postponements before we actually start getting to a direction where we know now, we say, can discovery be made in this file so that they can start preparing for pre-trial. But I don't foresee that the state being ready up until 2024 with this matter. I don't foresee that. So the state, in essence, is admitting that they're not ready with actually setting the matter down to say, listen, we can go to trial. And that is now the unfortunate thing, because people want to know what's happening, but the state is not ready, and they're far from ready. That I know for a fact.
So far from ready is not exactly where the state should be at this point. Let's head over to senior reporter Slindelo Masikane, who's been following this from the very beginning. So Alton Hart, Slee, saying the state not nearly ready. So 8th of August, we understand. One can only wonder if they're going to be ready by then.
Yeah, it seems as though between now and the 8th of August, all eyes will be on the developments around investigations by the South African Police Services with those who they believe assisted and facilitated Thabo Bester's escape from prison. So far, of course, 9 people arrested since about April this year. The latest about 2 weeks ago, a Zimbabwean national, Zanda Moyo, who we understand is accused of assisting Dr. Nandipa of getting the corpse that was going to be planted in the cell under false pretenses. And from the information we've been receiving, we understand that this Mr. Moyo happened to be Dr. Nandipa's driver, and for some time also drove Thabo Bester after his escape from prison, and actually lived in that Hyde Park mansion where they resided. Now, at this point, of course, we've received information from the state during these court proceedings that at least 3 more arrests are expected in this matter, meaning that the number of accused will certainly increase. So far, the 9 accused in the dock are facing various charges, including arson, fraud, aiding and abetting, and of course corruption as well. All of the accused facing a different amount of counts with regards to each count that they're facing. Now, at this stage as well, Gareth, from what we understand, is of course Thabo Bester also brought in new legal representation. His old legal team taking themselves off the case today, and his new lawyer then coming on record and then telling the courts that he is requesting that Bester appear physically in his next appearance. That is the 8th of August. And of course, we know that the virtual appearance today was per agreement between the Department of Correctional Services as well as the National Prosecuting Authority. And from what we understand, the state doesn't have an issue with Bester coming to court, but in his first virtual appearance, we do know, of course, that DCS had made an application due to the fact that it was going to be a postponement. We're likely to see another postponement on the 8th of August, meaning that perhaps there may be an application for Bester to appear virtually, but as it stands right now, his lawyer has requested that he comes to court, and that we understand has been granted, and that the NPA would has no objection to it. But of course, with regards to the arrests that are expected in this matter, we did speak to the National Prosecuting Authority to just try and understand exactly who we might see coming to the dock and being added to this case. We spoke to the spokesperson here in the Free State. Let's take a listen.
We have said it many times before that for as long as if there is investigations underway, there is always a possibility of more people being arrested. But unfortunately, we are not in a position to say who's going to be arrested, because we have to wait for investigations to be finalized. Then we can know who's involved and to what extent. Then if there is evidence that is pointing the investigating officers to certain people, those people will be arrested. Hopefully the 8th of August, they will be in court or not. Then we will have an idea as to how far those investigations are. But like the prosecutor said in court, the chances of more people being arrested still exist.
All right, so Slee, just as I say goodbye to you then as well, just to remind viewers of Nandipa Magudumana's father, I believe also a request there to be appearing virtually as well. Any idea why that is the case?
Well, like I said, Gareth, we are expecting the next appearance to be yet another postponement in the matter. So his lawyer then made an application to have Mr. Sekeleni either appear virtually or actually not to appear physically in the Bloemfontein Magistrate's Court. You would know that in terms of the bail that was granted, it was granted under the fact that he was going to be residing in Port Edward. That is more than 1,000 kilometers away from the Bloemfontein Magistrate's Court. So, of course, it is a financial cost for him to travel and come here and appear. And so his lawyer making that application to say, can he perhaps not appear physically, but as his lawyer, he would be in court. The magistrate found issue with this, saying that procedurally it doesn't make sense, and that the accused, in terms of their bail conditions, are warned that they need to make sure that they are at every appearance. It is part of their bail conditions, and that is how the bail was granted. Surprisingly, the state did not oppose this, but of course the magistrate actually dismissing the application, saying that he is denying it, believing that in fact Mr. Sekeleni should be in the dock with the other co-accused as per the agreement of his bail conditions. So that request was made, but subsequently it was denied.
All right, senior reporter Slindelo Masikane on the story for us. We now wait until the 8th of August. Quite a wait, but as we've heard from one of our legal experts, we've been speaking to Alton Hart, that the state is certainly going to need that time to put their case together.